Hi, I'm Mr. Kangas, and today we're going to be talking about Chapter 1, Section 3, Variables and Equations. This is the typical way that we typically expose students and people to variables for the first time. We're not doing a whole lot with them, and it's not really very complicated, and this isn't really very heavy on the algebra. All we're going to be doing is we're going to have problems such as this one here or this one over here that have variables in them, but all we're going to be doing with the variables is replacing them with numbers that we've been told they represent. So for example, you might face some problems in this section that tell you that k equals 4 and y equals 7. So in this problem over here, all we have is a k. So what we're going to do to solve this problem is we're going to take the problem, we're going to rewrite it, but when we rewrite it, the k will be replaced with a 4 because k equals 4. And then you just solve after that because now it's just a regular problem. And so you do 3 plus 4 and you get 7. It's really important to understand what that equal sign means. I think that's one of the least taught topics because I think most teachers assume people just have a natural understanding of what equals means. Equals is telling us that both k and 4 are the same exact thing. A lot of times people get the word congruent mixed up with equals. Congruent is like having a twin. Me and my twin look exactly alike. We're not the same person, but we look alike, so we're congruent. But when you are equal, it means you're one in the same. So Mr. Kangas, which is me, or Justin Kangas, who is also me, those two names are equal. They both represent the same person. They're just different ways of representing him. So k and 4 are different ways of representing the number 4 in this instance. Sometimes k will represent a different number, but in this case, k is 4. That's literally what it means. K is 4. So if we take a look at the next problem, we have a y and a k in it. It doesn't really make the problem much more complicated. We're just going to be replacing two variables with numbers instead of one. The only thing you want to keep in mind is when a number is next to a variable, it means multiply. So when I go to replace that y, it's going to be important that I don't just write a 7 here like that, because otherwise it's going to look like 57. What we typically do in math when we see something like this and we're replacing that y with the 7 is we're going to put that 7 in parentheses. It's very important to remember when a number is next to parentheses, it means multiply. This is probably the most common or the second most common way of showing multiplication in mathematics. The other most common way of showing it is just with a dot. In this case, most mathematicians, in my experience, prefer to use parentheses. And now we have to finish writing the problem, and we have to write plus whatever number k represents, which in this case is 4. And so now we have a little bit of a problem on our hands. We have an order of operations problem on our hand. So do we add first, or do we multiply first? Well, according to PEMDAS, or the order of operations, we multiply first. So we're going to do 5 times 7, and what I like to do in multi-step problems is I box off what it is I'm doing first, which is 5 times 7. I write the answer underneath, which is 35. Drop everything else down, and from here I continue my problem. So we have 35 plus 4 is all that is left. And 35 plus 4 will get me an answer of 39. And that is really all you're going to see in Chapter 1, Section 3. It doesn't really get much more difficult than that. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, just tune in for Chapter 1, Section 4 when you get there. All right, thank you.